Hey folks, how you doing? This is the Views Expressed podcast. I'm not live today. I'm having some issues. So, not me personally, it's the browsers. I can't have more than one tab open on the browser. I'm on my laptop, so it really screws things up. Anyway, enough about that. A little behind the scenes stuff. Hey, I got a lot to talk about today, and after the break, I'll give you what's happening in the news today. I want to give a virtual high five and a one of them fist bumps, to the one and only Glenn Beck, because a couple of years ago I was watching Fox News channel, and I saw Fox and Friends, and on Fox and Friends, Glenn Beck was a guest. Because he had just gotten to the, to the network and all that, and the whole nine yards. And he was on Fox and Friends on what they would call the comfy couch. Well, he looked at them and said, tonight on the show, I'm going to talk about FEMA camps. They're here in America, the internment camps that were here, reminiscent of World War II and stuff. And he talked about them, and they asked him questions and all that. So on the radio show that same afternoon, he said the same thing. Well, I'm going to talk about FEMA camps. I'm going to talk about this, blah, blah, blah. Then he gets on his television show, and I'm sitting there watching it. And he comes on and gives his standard, monologue. And then he says, I have to tell you that there are no FEMA camps. And at that minute, he walks up to the camera, looks into the camera, winks his eye, and says, they told me to say that. You can go and look this up on YouTube if they hadn't taken it down yet. But today on his show, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, he, at theblaze.com, he talked about fusion centers. He talked about surveillance. He talked about Big Brother. He talked about FEMA camps. He didn't say FEMA camps. He said internment camps, fusion centers, stuff like that. He had a former CIA agent, now a host of his own, of a show on the Blaze Network, Buck Sexton. He had Buck Sexton on to talk about this stuff. And guess what? Glenn Beck's starting to talk about what's happening, the tyranny and all of that. So it's his own network. Of course, he's got some sponsors. Of course, somebody down the line is probably going to knock on his door and say, you shouldn't do that. But he's done. He's tired of all of the lies. He's done with everybody lying to him. So am I. So is Alex Jones. So is a bunch of other people. And I'm going to tell you this much right now. I give him a fist bump and a virtual high five. He's talking about this stuff. And anybody says that none of this exists, no, you're just a conspiracy theory. Blah, blah, blah. There's no. I'm done with you people because you're stupid. Okay? So go on. Go listen to another show. Go. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what. Do one better. Do one better. You want to complain and complain and complain that I'm wrong and that Glenn Beck's wrong and Alex Jones is wrong and we're all conspiracy theories and Mark Dice and Luke Rudowski are all, and blah, 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 blah. You want to do that? Good. Go to Spreaker.com and start your own radio show and tell everybody that we're wrong when we have all the information behind us to prove that you're an idiot. Okay, so why don't you do that? Go to TalkShoe.com, go to BlogTalkRadio.com, go to Spreaker.com, go everywhere. Whatever you want to do. You're going to look like a freaking idiot because we're the ones that are right, okay? And I got something to tell you when I get back from this break. So, I'll be back. Listen to Crash Talk with your host, Christopher John Taylor, on HTLA973.com.
Misfit is a misfit.
Zano.
Ignorant of hygiene, destructive, disorderly, and totally disrespectful.
It's the 515 with Samo on Samo Radio.
AM 1700 Daytona Beach, Holly Hill.
And Southnet 1.
All aboard! Train, gonna love you. Take the last train to Boston. See the moment run.
He's leaving on that midnight train to Georgia.
Leaving on the midnight.
Sarasota's home for R&B and soul. The Razor Blade Express with Dave the Rave.
Photography is an art form, and Adventures in Photography shows you all of the forms of art there is in our world. Spencer Hughes captures the colors and works of natural art in his book, Adventures in Photography. For more information, go to SpencerHughesPhotography.com. Hey folks, I'm back. How you doing? How you doing, folks? I am back. This is the Views Express right here for the 6th of February 2014. This is the podcast version of the live show. I have some technical issues I've got to work out, and then we'll get back to the live show as soon as possible. But I got something to say. Glenn Beck, Alex Jones, all us people on that side of the curtain are right. All you people out there that is saying, oh, nothing's wrong, it's all a conspiracy theory, you're all fearmongers, you're all this, everything's fine. You people are the biggest, dumbest box of rocks on the face of this people, on this world. You people have your heads up your butts so far that when you fart, you give yourself a migraine. That's just the way it is. You people have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. We're right, you're wrong, that's it, get over it, bye-bye. Have a nice day. From westernjournalism.com, there we go, if I can say the word right, multiculturalism, a more critical look. The author here, Richard Rothschild, I don't know if that's any relation, but he says, I raised two children, if I can speak. I raised two children through high school and college. I have found that a disturbing anti-American bias is apparent in their multicultural studies. America's history is presented as a series of racist, ethnocentric, and colonialist abuses. Perhaps a partial undercurrent of truth exists of some of these criticisms. However, every major civilization on Earth has been guilty of some charges at one point or another. To America's credit, we evolved, and we are arguably the most tolerant nation on the planet. Recently, he says, the author here says, a friend of mine who is a professor at a Maryland university confided that white males have a rocky trek at her school. It seems whites have now become the target of choice for endless attacks and derogatory comments by university intelligentsia. All of this appears to be a byproduct of multiculturalism run amok. Multiculturalism can be a good thing, especially when used to teach tolerance for individuals who are different than us. However, it is no different than medicine or chocolate. Too much of it taken indiscriminately can make you sick. There is a fine line between tolerance and endorsement. What happens when we endorse cultures that do not share our beliefs relating to human rights, respect of law, and the pursuit of happiness for all people? Ironically, I'm just going to give you let me end right there. The facts are the facts, people. Multiculturalism kills. Again, it's like chocolate or any type, anything that you take outside of the of moderation, outside of a set routine, outside of a clocked regime. If you have too much of one thing, you're going to have a problem. That's just the way it is. If you have one thing and you have too much of it, there is going to be a problem. We have multiculturalism in the United States because we are, at one point, we're referred to as the melting pot of the world. Well, the pot is melted. The fire is gone, just absolutely supernova. And we are drowning in multiculturalism because all these other religions and races in America want their own way over the way of the Americans that were born and raised here. I have had enough of that bull. How about you? I know some people are going to say I'm not tolerant. I have black friends, I have white friends, I have Mexican friends, I have Asian friends, I have gay friends, I have transgendered friends. Let me tell you something. I'm more than multiculturalist. Okay? I'm more of a multiculturalist because I have friends of different religions, of different philosophies, of different ideologies. And let me tell you something. For anyone to tell me I'm prejudiced or racist, you're an ass. Period. Now, in 2013, I said I wasn't going to pull any punches, and I'm not going to. There are people out there that actually enjoy sitting down with other people and talking with them to find out what their views are. No matter if they're Asian or black or Mexican or whatever. What are your views? And it's great. But if we can come together and work together and make a better neighborhood, make a better society for ourselves, regardless of religion and race and all of that, that is true multiculturalism because the foundation of this country was built upon the acceptance of other people. It's kind of strange because the hypocrisy that this country finds itself in the beginning of this country is just almost overshadowed the freedoms and liberties that we fought for. What do I mean? It's real simple. There were people here when the Eastern Europeans, our ancestors, came over here. And what did they do? They killed, within a 10-year period of time, 10 or 12-year period of time, killed 1.6 million people that were here. That's the numbers that are out there right now. It could be more, it could be less, I don't know. But you people need to get your head out of your ass and start looking around and seeing what's happening instead of signing petitions trying to get Justin Bieber out of the country. You need to start listening to people like Luke Grudowski, like Alex Jones, like Glenn Beck, like myself, like Pete Santilli, like Nick Tucker, like Brian Keller. I mean, you guys need to start listening to us because we are right and you are wrong. I started researching all of this stuff when Carter was president and I was in high school. Yes, folks, I'm that old. And I got to a point where I realized, wait a minute, something is not quite right here. You know how you get when you were a kid, you got on a teeter-totter with your friend and your friend went down and then you were going up and then he jumped off and you slammed down to the ground and that hurt, you know what I mean. You've been there. You understand that. But you ever get to the point where you're with a friend and you start trying to balance each other out? Okay? With you folks that say that I'm a conspiracy theorist, you're not balanced right. You don't have the understanding that I have, that many others on this side of the veil have, because I will tell you the truth one fact at a time, and I will rip that veil apart and show you who's pushing the buttons and pulling the handles. If you don't like it, bye, have a nice day. I will get up in your face. I will tell you how it is. I will tell you what I feel. And again, let me remind you, it is my opinion only from my perspective. So you can do whatever it is you want to do. But I'm giving you the truth. I'm showing you as you're driving down that road as an example and you see that train guard come down. And you hear the sound of that train, does that make you want to go around that barrier and keep going? Because if it does, you're stupid. Yes, I have a great deal of conflict with people who really have a problem with me. Well, let me solve your problem right now. You don't like me, you don't have to listen to me. You don't like this show, you don't have to listen to the show. You can make up your own show and do whatever it is you want to do. And let me tell you this. Let me put this cherry on the top of that whipped cream, on the top of that ice cream. Shall I? Let me do that for you. I don't really care what you think. What? No, because you have a preconceived idea that is totally wrong, made up out of your own delusional world. You're stuck in this little corner of the room and you're sitting there going, yes, oh, and you're just wandering off in your own little fantasy land. When I'm living in reality and see this stuff every day. So I really don't care what you say. You don't like the show, don't help out. You don't want to listen to the show, don't listen. Go about your day. Have a nice one. See ya. Or I'm not even going to see you. So bye. Have a nice day. You know what I'm saying? I had people tell me recently, matter of fact, it was a post about CVS taking cigarettes off taking tobacco products off of the shelf, which I believe they have a right to do because they are a private company. You could do whatever you want, right? You get a company, you can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. This is my thing. I do what I want. You don't direct my show. So I tell you exactly how it is. You don't like it. Bye. Have a nice day. But I was posting about CVS taking the tobacco products off the shelf. And guess what? I said they should do it in every store. They should do it in every store. And my feeling is this. Let me go one step further. I believe that all tobacco companies should be put out of business and all of their crops taken out and their land tilled under to grow food for starving Americans, not for starving world, but for people right here in the United States that are starving legitimately. That's what they should do. Now, somebody said that I'm not going to give it to you verbatim because I don't remember it, but the gist of it was, the answer to that was, people can do whatever they want. They have a right to smoke if they want. When I was living in California, I had an argument with somebody who smoked. I said, okay. And this is the first time I used this. It's the first time I said this to anybody. They said, yeah, I have a right to smoke and you can go elsewhere. And I looked at him and I went, yeah, you have a right to smoke. You have a right to die. So if you want to do it quicker, I'll push you out in front of a bus. He's like, oh yeah, he got all upset. I don't care. I told another friend of mine, you going to smoke? Here, let me give you a revolver. I'll put one bullet in it and spin the chambers around and then hand a gun to you and you put it to your head. Start pulling the trigger. That gun's going to go off like that cigarette. Uh-oh. Phone's ringing. That's okay. I'm sorry. Trying to set up my computer here as well as I'm doing. But anyway, yeah, so let me give you exactly how I feel, exactly down in Reader's Digest, condensed version of how I feel. I care about you living. I understand that the poison that you put in your body is your choice. Okay, let's shake hands and go about our business, shall we? But I'm pointing out to you, you're putting poison in your body. And if you don't care, you're dumber than a box of rocks. Okay? It's poison. Do you know how much arsenic is in tobacco? Do you know how much rat poison is in tobacco? Do you know how much chemicals you are putting in your body? Well, we're going to die of something anyway. Yeah, let me push you out in front of a bus. You know wouldn't do that, literally. But the example is, if you don't care, let me help you die a little faster. I wouldn't do that because I care about you. That's why I'm telling you there's that crap in there so you can quit. But obviously you're going to have this mindset that people are going to do whatever they want, and I have a right to smoke. Blah, 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 blah. Really? Bye. Have a nice day. Enjoy your weekend. I have put myself on so many different... I've been at the top of so many people's S lists. It's amazing. It really, really is. Hey, folks, I've almost missed my break. I shall be right back. What is reality? The foundation of reality is based on many concepts. Each person perceives reality differently. In the book, The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman, they explore the hidden infrastructure of reality. Get your copy today at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman. The hottest new talk radio show is on Revolution Radio. The BK Factor talks about news, religion, politics, and more. BK adds his opinion to all of it. The BK Factor airs Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific Time, noon to 2 Eastern. If you miss a show, you miss out. Photography is an art form, and Adventures in Photography shows you all of the forms of art there is in our world. Spencer Hughes captures the colors and works of natural art in his book, Adventures in Photography. For more information, go to SpencerHughesPhotography.com. Yeah, folks, how you doing? How you doing? This is the Views Express podcast. I'm not live today. I'm having some technical issues on the browser side of things on my laptop. So, suffice it to say, I'm going to do an hour podcast, and I'm 20 minutes into it. So, going over to kurzweilai.net. Yeah, I'm reading this. I had to print this out earlier. So, Kurzweil, Kurzweilai, kurzweilai.net. MITRE, M-I-T-R-E. Harvard nanocomputer may point the way to future computer miniaturization. An interdisciplinary team of scientists and engineers from MITRE Corporation and Harvard University have taken key steps toward ultra-small electronic computer systems that push beyond the imminent end of Moore's Law. They designed and assembled from the bottom up a functioning ultra-tiny control computer, a nano controller, that they say is the densest nanoelectronic system ever built. I'm not going to give you the specs, but I will say this. It's getting to the point that we're going... You see your desktop there, right? You see your laptop, you see your little cell phone, which is a computer in and of itself, and a tracking system. We're going to see computers the size of your wristwatch. Okay? We are. Now, here's the thing. How small can computers get? Well, let me go to this side of the class, shall we? When you look at computers and you look at the history of computers, you have to understand that prior to 1950, 1945, we didn't have anything as sophisticated. Let me rephrase that. We had at that time what was considered to be sophisticated electronic devices. At that time, 35, 40, 45. And at that time, they were sophisticated to the point where it was new to the public eye, or it was new to someone else. By the way, there were constant competitions, loosely put, for government contracts for the military at that time. Now, after 1945, September 1945, you began to see Moore's Law take effect, which means, let me just put it to you this way. If I built something today to last 10 years, to last and function for 10 years to come, within that 10 years, I am going to create and build something else that's going to last much longer, and that rolls on from there. Also, that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is I'm going to create and build something that is going to work for a certain function. Now you look at your tower, your computer tower. Imagine that being the size of a coffee cup. That's Moore's Law. Miniaturizing everything that you've prototyped many years before. I know I have an electronics background. I have a computer background. I know how this stuff works. I started working on computers when it was 8336 as well. I remember this stuff. I know how it works. The first computer that I ever saw had 4K RAM, and all of your information that you wanted to save went onto a 5 1/4 inch disc. Okay? Now you got 16 gigs in a little flash drive the size of your thumbnail. Do you understand what I'm saying? All these big things that we saw earlier in our lives are now really, really small because they've worked out how to miniaturize it all. By the way, in the 80s, I began to hear in the resources that I had at that time certain things being put together. And one of them was the tricorder from Star Trek, the original series. I found out through a resource, which I no longer have, that Lawrence Livermore Laboratories in Livermore, California, had designed and built a prototype. By the way, just to give you a little insight as to what I did today, I went to the doctor. Now, you remember that when you go to the doctor, they put this, little thing on you, and they got the stethoscope and they start doing your blood pressure. They did all that. But what they did was, and it was totally fascinating to me, was they took this little thing that they clipped onto my finger. They clipped it onto my finger. It was the size of, I'm trying to get a reference point for you. It was, it was a little bit bigger than your finger. Right, look at your index finger. It was a little bit bigger than that. They clipped it on there, and that was your pulse. That was your blood pressure and that kind of thing. It looked like it. And I'm thinking to myself, as I'm looking at this little device, where did that come from? So we look at all this stuff, and we look at Kurzweil, Ray Kurzweil. You don't know who he is, but you know his products. You've seen the keyboards, the musical keyboards that say on the back Kurzweil. That's him. Okay? But I talk about the size of these things because you go from 48, 49, 50... into the 60s, into the 70s. A computer the size of your cell phone took up the size of your probably 450 square foot apartment 60 years ago, 65 years ago. Okay? Now, they're trying to implant computers into you. The nanoelectronic finite state machine, nano FSM, or nanocomputer measures, you geeks out there will wet yourself over this. This nanocomputer measures 0.3 by 0.03 millimeters. It is comprised of hundreds of nanowire transistors, each an under 20 nanometers switch. The nanowire transistors use very little power because they are non-volatile. The switches remember whether they are on or off, even when no power is supplied to them. The nano FSM, in the nano SFM, these nano switches are assembled and organized into circuits on several quote-unquote tiles or modules. Together, the tiles route small electronic signals around the computer, enabling it to perform calculations. Like I said, I'm reading this. Calculation and process signals that could be used to control tiny systems such as minuscule medical therapeutic devices, other tiny sensors and actuators, and even insect-sized robots. In 2011, MITRE Harvard team demonstrated a single such tiny tile capable of performing simple logic operations. Quote, it was a challenge to develop a system architecture and nano-circuit designs that would pack the control functions we wanted into such a very tiny system, unquote, according to Shamik Das, chief architect for the nanocomputer, who is also a principal engineer and group leader at MITRE's Nanosystems Group. Look that up, MITRE, Nanosystems Group. Quote, once we had those designs, though, our Harvard collaborators did a brilliant job innovating to be able to realize them. Okay? I want everybody to know that I am for technology. Not so much in the way of transhumanist technology, meaning life extension technology. I would rather live out my life quite well, knowing that I don't have all those devices in me to help me live an extra 50 years or so. But I will say this. The days of C-3PO and the days of Commander Data are here. There's no way of getting around it. I was talking about Moore's Law, how you've got a computer system like the size of your tower. What is that? Miniaturized into something the size of your cell phone. Now you have all these nano circuits. Have you seen nano circuits? Go to YouTube and check out what nano circuits do. It is freaking incredible, people. By the way, a scientist in the electronics field several years ago perfected teleportation on the molecular level. By the way, folks, let me give you a little speculation here. Because this, well, it's not really speculation, but let me give you a little glimpse into what the future holds. Your bodies are made up of electrical circuits. Those electrical circuits also are designed to handle everything from blood flow to DNA to you name it, it does it. Your body is an electrical system that can be uploaded into a massive computer. The days of the transporter are not too far away. The days of the holodeck, on the other hand, are probably about 75 to 125 years away. Possibly. The information that I have received shows that on average, if electronic trends continue and the technology continues in the way that it does and still miniaturizes and innovation takes hold, that the holodeck could be realized within, on average now, conservatively speaking, could be on the market in about 80 years. But now, let me tell you this. Talking to some people, looking at documentaries, reading documents as I have over the years, when you think of Area 51, you think of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, you think of, Edwards Air Force Base. They're not just military outlets, folks. These are technology hubs. Go look at them. Go look at Denmark, what they've done in electronics. Look at what Germany has done. Look at what Japan has done. There's all these different areas. And from what I've read from very credible sources, the people that worked out at Area 51 and places like that have said the technology that we have, or the technology that they are working on and have worked on, is anywhere between 30 to 50 years ahead of everything that we see. So the holodeck, the transporter, won't be here in my lifetime, but might be here in your grandchildren's lifetime. So think about that one, folks. Go to freeamericaradio.us, freeamericaradio.us. Email me at freeamericaradio@unseen.is. freeamericaradio@unseen.is. And, take a look at it. Check it out. If you want to help Free America Radio Network get to the next level, please. I would appreciate that very much. And you will be a part of all of us taking a stand and defending our constitutional rights against the tyranny in this country. What's that moving in the shadows? Claranormal Talk Radio with your host, Steve Hembry, right here on RadioKahuna.com.
Is he a conservative liberal? Or is he a liberal conservative? You decide. You're listening to The Views Expressed with Reverend Wayne S. Pierce.
Did you know that the first Matrix was designed to be a perfect human world where none suffered, where everyone would be happy? And it was a disaster. No one would accept the program. Entire crops were lost. Some believed that we lacked the programming language to describe your perfect world, but I believe that as a species, human beings define their reality through misery and suffering. So the perfect world was a dream that your primitive cerebrum kept trying to wake up from, which is why the Matrix was redesigned to this, the peak of your civilization.
Hey folks, how you doing? This is the Views Express podcast. I'm going to go for a few more minutes here. We're not live. We are recorded. This is the podcast for the Views Express for the 6th of February 2014. I'm having some issues with browsers and all that. Not so much the browser itself. I'm on my laptop and it's not as fast as my desktop. So if I open any more than one tab on my on my browser and try to do a show and flip to 3 or 4 different other tabs, yeah, you'll sit there and go, yeah, it's really bad on the sound. So anyway, I'll do you a favor and not put you through that horror, okay? So anyway, there's a little tech issue there, folks. I'm also going to do a podcast tomorrow. Probably one, because I have the Wayne S. Pierce show tomorrow at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. I may do that one live, so stay tuned. Who knows? And I may do the Views Expressed, another podcast. So for those over on the wakingupthemasses.com, on the micro broadcasting system over there in the Chickamauga, Georgia area, I hope you enjoy it. I hope that you would forgive me for not having a live show. But anyway, let's go from there, folks. What else is there? Oh, I know. There's so much stuff that it's in my head. Again, I want to say this. Go check out Nick Tucker, Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook, distortedreality.podbean.com. He's had some issues with the site, Podbean site, so he will be having a show up soon as those situations get resolved. Go check out Guerrilla Media Network on Facebook. Check out GuerrillaMediaNetwork.com, the Pete Santilli Show. If you don't want your BS, that is the show to go see. He's the alternative to the alternative media. Okay? So you might want to check that out. The Pete Santilli Show over on the Guerrilla Media Network. Also, go check out Washington Bull Party on Facebook. Go check that out. Go check out PatriotsFreedomNetwork.com. Check that one out as well. There's so many things to check out because so many people are now absolutely pissed. They cannot stand what is going on. They can't. They see it. And they're wondering, wait. The president said he was going to do this, and he's not doing that. Yeah, get a clue, folks. He's lying to you, okay? What did he say prior to becoming president in 2008? I'm going to close Guantanamo Bay. The thing is still open, and they have 2 secret bases. Oops, sorry, was I supposed to say that? Yeah, he said he's not going to negotiate with terrorists. Or he didn't say that verbatim, but he mentioned in certain areas that he wasn't going to. But guess what? He has Muslim Brotherhood in key positions in the White House. The Muslim Brotherhood have been and are a terrorist group. Period. And you're going to allow this man in the White House to have these criminals in the White House? He's met recently with the head of the Muslim Brotherhood. So I don't want to hear any of you people going, it's just a conspiracy theory. No, you people are dumber than a box of rocks. Go away now. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. Take your Justin Bieber and your football with you. Bye-bye. Go away now. You know, we have a problem in this country, and it's called cognitive dissonance. Yeah, go look that up for you people who are sitting there going, oh, man, he's using $3 college words I don't know anything about. Cognitive dissonance. Go check it out. Okay? I'm saying it very slowly for you to understand. Cognitive dissonance. Okay? Now, some people would say, why are you talking that way? You think people are stupid? No, I don't think people are stupid. I know they are. And not only that, I know that they're not aware of what's going on. And if they are aware, they're not doing anything about it. And if they're not doing anything about it, they don't want to do anything about it because they're, they want their Justin Bieber in their football. Now, what else? Do you honestly think that people literally believe this person in the suit at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? He's not even a citizen. He's got Barack H. Obama Foundation, which funds, with the help of his stepbrother or half-brother, funds terrorist organizations. Go look it up. I'm not kidding you. Okay? We've got things happening all over the world, and you're too concerned about your damn, Nikes. Trying to save up to spend $200 on a pair of tennis shoes. Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant over in Japan blew up. It's melted down. There's radiation all over the place. It's killing the Pacific Ocean, and you're sitting there too concerned about your damn beer in your bar. Let me tell you something, jackass. You're the first people that the UN soldiers are going to come take to a FEMA camp somewhere. So why don't you get up off your ass and go do something? Oh, don't get me wrong. I've had people tell me, well, you're behind a mic. You can get up and do something. Yeah, I can. And I will, and I do. Let me tell you something. You're all looking for leaders. You're all looking for somebody else to do it. I'm talking to you people who are aware. I'm looking at you people right now. I'm telling you folks right now, the ones that are understandably aware of what is going on, I'm talking to you folks. You want somebody else to take the reins and you want to ride that wagon into victory because you don't want to do a damn thing to help. You're all looking for leaders because you want to be behind them. Hey, how about getting off your ass there, Einstein, and going out and being your own leader and rounding up people in a good way and getting people rallied together to go out to your city councils and to your VFWs and tell them, hey, nullify the NDAA. Tell your politicians in your city halls and in your city councils, enough is enough. You're taking the fluoride out of the water. You're getting the GMOs out of here. You're nullifying the NDAA, and you're putting the Constitution back in your chambers. You have to demand these people do what you want. Now, a lot of folks will tell me that's not the way to go about it. Okay, there's a lot of ways of going about it. That's one of them. The other one is midterm elections. Like it really matters, like your vote's going to matter. You know what people tell me? I've had somebody email me and tell me this, actually, and said, you're all up in everybody's face. They didn't say that, but the gist of the email was, I'm telling people to get up in people's faces to demand all this stuff to happen, when in fact, they're just going to listen to you, brush you off, push you aside, and do whatever they want. Yeah, this is true. But if you look at the armies of the Civil War, if you look at the armies of how they strategized and went out in companies and battalions and sat there on the line and fought the enemy. If 3 or 4 or 5 of them died in front, 3 or 4 or 5 of them from behind will come up and take their place and keep on going. So if they don't cater to our demands, there's going to be somebody, and they push us away, there's going to be somebody else that's going to come up and say the same thing. And to you people out there who are fully aware of what's going on, but say, well, it doesn't matter, we can say and do whatever we want, they're going to do whatever they want anyway. Really? Have you been infiltrated by provocateurs? Huh? Because I think you don't have brains enough to figure out how to do this stuff on your own. You need somebody to hold your hand and wipe your ass. Well, I ain't going to do that for you. You're going to have to get out there and do it yourself. Yeah, I'm very harsh at times. Yes, I'm very upfront and in your face at times. But I'm also very kind and very gentle, and I want to help, and I want to be there to lift people up, and with others around me saying, well, you know what difference does it make? Yes, Hillary Clinton, what difference does it make? 4 people died under your watch, you bitch. You freaking muff diver. Yeah. I said it. What are you going to do about it? Come get me. You ain't got the balls. Come on. But if you folks out there think that it's easy to go out and to go shopping and to do whatever you got to do in your life, and you see the militarized police out there, and you see what's happening out there, and you know what's happening out there, and you sit there and you're afraid, how do you think I feel when I'm sitting there going, holy crap, I hope, oh my God, I don't want to get out of line because I don't have any means by which to defend myself at that point. It's called, there's too many of them and only one of me. There's power in numbers, and if you want a leader, you better go out and start leading people yourself. You better go out and start doing things on your own, and other people will find you. And then you tell them, hey, wait, don't look at me as being a leader. You go do this. Because I'll tell you right now, and I've seen this. I've seen this in history, and I've seen this in America. People who are decentralized but getting more done are the people that are going to get more done. Just, you can look at it yourself. There's a lot of things that we need to do. There's a lot of things that we need to take into consideration. There's a lot of things that we need to pay attention to. Hey, I'm in that boat too. But I'm telling you right now, you've got a choice. You can either stand for the Constitution, the Bill of Rights prior to 1871 and defend this country against enemies foreign and domestic, or you can roll up your little butt on the floor in a fetal position and let them come get you. That is your choices. That is your choices. And I'll tell you right now, I'd rather take that first choice, not the second. You've got a choice to stand up for you, your family, your friends, your neighborhood, your county, your city, your state. You have that option. And if you're looking for somebody else to do it for you, close your door, pull your curtains, turn on the TV, grab your beer, because that's all you give a crap about. Now, why do I say that? Because I've seen it in history more and more and more. I've seen it in my lifetime. People start rallying together and saying, yes, this is what we're going to do. But then other people are just going to sit on their butts waiting to see what happens. Oh, those 25 people are going to go downtown and protest. I don't want to join them yet. I want to see what happens. If the cops start coming out and pounding heads, I'm just not going to go down there. you got no balls. You got no gonads. You got no huevos. You got nothing. You got no backbone. You got no spine. You got nothing. And you sit there and complain about me and about Alex Jones and about Glenn Beck? Why don't you go out there and body slam somebody? Let me retract that. I say that figuratively because here's why. Here's an illustration of why I say that. We've got dozens and dozens of people coming out and rallying and doing things in our cities, and you've seen it in yourself. And you've seen, now get this, you've seen those people in those groups get up into the law enforcement officer's face, and they're the ones that get hit with the billy club. Those are the types of people that need to be out of your group. And here's why I say you need to go out and body slam some people. I'm using that as a figurative type of speech because you need to take those specific people, the ones that are the agent provocateurs, and get them out of your group. Kick them out. Kick them to the curb because they don't serve you, nor do they have your best interest at heart. The best civil disobedience that I've seen, the best results of civil disobedience that I have seen was people going out and rallying with signs and standing there and the cops come and talking to them or who was ever leading the group and finding out that all they're doing is standing on their First Amendment rights. That's all they're doing. And then there are people behind the scenes who see this stuff going on, as I said before, and said, well, I'm going to see what happens before I go out there. Well, you got no balls. You got no spine. You got nothing. There's two things I want to leave you with. One, you've got a choice. You can either sit there, do nothing, or get up and go out and do something and rally people together. Don't make yourself a leader. Just say, look, diversify. You need to go wherever you need to go and do whatever it is you need to do, but do it peacefully. You need to do something. That's your choices. Either do nothing or do something. That's entirely up to you. I myself plan on doing something. Oh, yes. Just putting it out there, telegraphing it. I plan on doing something. Don't know when, don't know where yet, but it's probably going to be random. And I'm going to get a video of it too, so be prepared. If you want to help out, please do. Thank you very much. Go to freeamericaradio.us. Donate, if you will, for us, for the Free America Radio Network to get to the next level. Thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate that. Email me if you have any questions. freeamericaradio@unseen.is. freeamericaradio@unseen.is. You have the other email. Keep that as well. And in the meantime... Wow, that was loud. In the meantime, always remember, this is your country, not theirs. You're the one that has to take care of it. We the people have the power, for we are America.